If you've heard of the name Pondicherry before, it's probably because you've been watching the Life of Pi movie, and this is basically where Pi and his family lived at the beginning of the film.
We had a bit of a rough night last night. We were both sick and thrown up. Trigger warning.
Hi everyone, we're Hannah and Johnny, also known as Finding Our Adventure. We've lived life on the road, chasing unforgettable experiences around the world. Subscribe and join us each week for epic travel stories, untold adventures, and a journey beyond the ordinary.
Good morning guys, and welcome to another episode of Finding Our Adventure. We have just arrived in Pondicherry and we've just checked into the Gratitude Heritage Hotel, which is a beautiful house. We've got our room, which is very beautiful as well. Everywhere you look here is just picture perfect. It's very Instagrammable. We've seen lots of people outside our hotel taking lots and lots of pictures, which we can see why, because it is just stunning. And yeah, we thought we'd quickly show you around the room that we're staying in, and the plan today is to go and explore Pondicherry. So come into our room. It's quite dark in here, so hopefully you can see me all right. But we've got two big windows and a massive door, and that all closes off so it can stay nice and cool. And it's got a really nice kind of like homely, antique kind of heritage feel in here, hence the name of the hotel. We've got a lovely big 4-poster bed with like mosquito nets all the way around. We've also got a fan, and there is also like a little side bed on this side, which is where we've put all of our stuff. Got a nice little seating area just over here, and on this side we've got a dressing table and also a big wardrobe space, so you can hang all your bits and bobs there. And then we come up these stairs into the bathroom. So we come into a very generous sized bathroom in here. It's got beautiful old photographs and posters on the wall, and a really lovely old wooden antique dresser. And on this side we've got, I love all the like touches. I've got like brass vases, and I think this is like a polished lime plaster type effect. But it's all done really, really nicely. And then we've got a lovely big bath, toilet, shower, and another thing that they've got is like this big brass bucket and like cup, and you can do like traditional bath with instructions and stuff on how to clean using this. And they've also got some it's like some powder or like some exfoliator scrub you can put on your body, and then you use this in the bucket and wash it all off. So maybe we'll try that at some point as well. But yeah, it's got a very like authentic feel to kind of like the time that this was probably originally built. And yeah, just done really, really nicely, and I'm really excited to explore the streets.
We are staying in White Town, which is the French quarter of Old Pondicherry, and we're staying in the heart of it, and it's much quieter than other parts of India we've been to, and it's got all these beautiful colonial French buildings. And Pondicherry is actually in the old French part of India. So this is a part of India that the French ruled outside the British Raj, which was the rest of India. And if you've heard of the name Pondicherry before, it's probably because you've been watching the Life of Pi movie, and this is basically where Pi and his family lived at the beginning of the film. And it's very beautiful here. It's got lots of beautiful quiet streets. As Hannah said, it's very Instagrammable. There's lots of Indian teenagers out last night taking photos and capturing all their photos for Instagram, which is quite fun to watch. And yeah, we're just going for a walk this morning to explore the streets and to see what is around here. We've just made it to the beach, which is a couple of streets over from where we're staying in White Town, and it's only 9:30 in the morning here, and it's already about 35 degrees, so it's very, very hot already. And there's not much shade here. There's a bit more of a breeze yesterday off the water, but there's not. Yesterday evening we went for dinner when we just arrived, but this morning there's not really a breeze, so it's feeling very warm and very exposed here. So we'll just go walk along here probably, and then we'll head back into the streets to explore. And the nice thing about the buildings here is actually, because they're quite close together, they offer a lot of shade, so you can walk on one side and be protected from the sun at this time of day. If you've ever been to India before, you'll see a lot of these barriers that's just behind me all over the cities and stuff, and it's all the traffic police. They're basically trying to do traffic control measures. And in White Town here, they actually have a lot of them blocking off a lot of the roads, so actually it stops a lot of traffic coming through here. And it's probably the most traffic, having said that, this car's driving past now, but it is probably the most traffic-free part of India we've ever been to, so it's actually quite nice to walk around. It did get busy last night and there was quite a few motorbikes zipping past, but other than that, we're walking around in the middle of the street and it's quite quiet. It's nice to walk around. We've just been picked up by our driver, which has been organised by India Sunday. So if you're planning your trip to India, check out the link in the descriptions below to book your whole itinerary of India Sunday. They've been absolutely fantastic. And we are currently on our way to the botanical gardens here in Pondicherry.
So we just been walking around the botanical gardens and it cost us 100 each, 50 each. So it was 100 in total rupees for us to go into the gardens. And we would say we are a little bit disappointed really on, especially like we've been to so many different botanical gardens, that these were just, there was like some nice trees, you know, it was very spread out, and it felt quite like commercialised. There was a lot of things for kids there, like there was a big play area for kids and like a toy train ride, and it just, yeah, I feel like there's other parks in Pondicherry that, especially not far from where we're staying, that are free, that are maybe a bit better and free, so you don't have to go to the botanical gardens. And it's quite far from where we are. The botanical gardens were like maybe 5-10 minute drive from here. So yeah, we wouldn't say that it was worth going there, but we've just come to one of the cafes now. I can't remember the name of it. Coromandel Cafe. We've just come for some nice cold drinks, had a nice iced chocolate, which was really nice to help cool down from the midday heat. And Johnny's gone for like an Americano with honey, which also looks really nice. Got lots of gardens in here and it's lots of shade, which is exactly what we need. And I think we're going to go maybe and explore some of the shops. It's very well known for its like kind of cafe culture here, restaurants and shops. So, and also beautiful streets. So I think that's what we're going to do after this, and then go back and chill at the hotel. We've had a really lovely afternoon exploring the lovely streets of Pondicherry, and I think I've said it already, but everywhere you look here, it's very beautiful. There's so much colour. And it's actually a lot cleaner than other parts of India that we've been to. And we also found a shop earlier, which I fell in love with. It had like basically like block printing, and there were so many beautiful things in there, like dresses and lots of blankets and stuff like that. And I'm wearing one of the dresses now because I was very tempted. And we've now come to Auntie, I think is how you say it, or Anthe is maybe how you say it, which is like a cafe restaurant. We've come for dinner. They serve loads of different food like sushi and pasta, but also like Indian curry as well. We've gone for traditional Indian curry this evening. I think it was a tikka masala? And it's got like a gold leaf on top, which looks very fancy. We've also got some rice, some garlic naan, and the sun's just setting now, so it's nice and cool, and we've got the fan blowing on us, which is just what we need after a day exploring Pondicherry. Good morning, guys. We had a bit of a rough night last night. We were both sick and thrown up, trigger warning. So yeah, we're both feeling pretty rough today. We've been taking it very easy and drinking lots of liquids and stuff. I still feel a bit fluey and achy, so apologies if I come across like my brain, I'm saying weird things, so I'm going to try my best. But we've just checked into the Sanctuary Amaidiyana, I think. Amaidiyana. It is a beautiful CGH Earth experience hotel, and it's just about 20 minutes outside of Pondicherry. We've come to like, it feels like a beautiful paradise, like oasis of nature, very relaxing, very serene, and our room is incredible. I think this might be one of my favourite hotels we've stayed on this trip so far, so I can't wait to show you around. We've got one of the superior rooms, which is absolutely massive. It's almost like an apartment size. It's so big. But this is our outside area here, where we've got some chairs and a table. And one of the things is it's very like barefoot living here. So every time you arrive to your room, they say to wash your feet and keep everything nice and clean. And also it's like a cleansing kind of ritual as you enter the space of the room. So, as we come in, we have a very comfortable bed, which we have been napping on today. We were very kindly allowed to check in early today, so we had some time to rest and recover, and that has been just what we needed. So we've got a lovely bed here, fan and aircon just above, which is perfectly positioned to keep us cool. And then on this side, we've got like another bed, basically. It's kind of more like a lounging area with two windows either side, so you can look out into the gardens. And then there's also a chair just here. And then if you come over onto the other side, so we've got loads of windows as well. It feels quite cozy in here. We've got a TV up on this side. We've got like a massive desk space, tea and coffee, and also like a mini bar. They've got lots of very tempting looking goodies here. Some jaggery coated almonds, and there's also some cool drinks in the fridge, which is another thing that we are so grateful for. Whenever there's a fridge where we stay, we can have our water and drinks nice and cold, which is nice when you're not feeling so great either. And then we'll come behind the bed, so it's kind of like a circular thing. You can walk around all the way around, which is very nice and lets the flow of the room naturally come around. You've got big wardrobe space just in here, plenty of hanging space as well. And then a spot for our suitcases, which is a massive bonus because we always are trying to figure out where to put our suitcases when we check in somewhere, so that is a lovely little touch. And then upstairs we have another balcony chill out space. It's basically another single bed, so you could have 4 people sleeping here, maybe like 2 adults and 2 kids. And it's really nice. It just shows how tall the ceiling is in this room. Absolutely massive. And then I will show you the beautiful bathroom. Turn on the lights. I mean, look how big this is. We've got a huge mirror, his and hers sinks, all of the toiletries that you would need. I've got moisturizer, hand wash, all of like the little things that maybe you've forgotten, like shaving stuff. And then we've also got some drawers, I think, under here. So if you want, oh, and a hairdryer. So like loads of room just to put stuff, which is just so nice because it makes it feel nice and clean instead of just having all your stuff like laid out everywhere. And then we've got a lovely big rainfall shower, which is also massive. Got your shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and also a handheld shower head in there. And then there's just a toilet over here and a lovely big ceiling fan. And it's really nice. You've got a nice big window here as well, which I think these open, but I'm not sure. I don't want to break anything. But yeah, oh yeah, there's one more thing to show you of this room. So not only do we have a front terrace, we've also got a back garden. We've got this lovely serene space where you can sit and chill here, overlooking the garden, and we've got a lovely cashew tree, which we were talking about earlier when we arrived at the property. They've got this massive, beautiful cashew tree, and I've never actually seen one in the flesh, but look how cool that is. Such an interesting looking plant. So yeah, beautiful green space, very chilled and relaxing, and we are very excited to be staying here. We've just come to the beautiful pool, which is like literally footsteps from our room, and when we checked in, the guys were really kind and they were like, oh, we thought you'd really like the room, like literally right next to the pool, which is so nice. But the pool is actually quite warm. It must be really hot today because of the sun, but we were saying earlier actually that if you are coming to India in April, and May I think is even hotter, but I feel like it's crucial to have a pool where you're staying because it's just so hot, and in the midday sun you can't really do much because it's just too hot. So you just have to come to the pool and cool down.
We've had a really nice afternoon just relaxing by the pool and cooling off and recovering. It was definitely water poisoning, we think. We've been pretty good with our water throughout India, drinking only bottled water, but when we got to Pondicherry and a couple of other places, we have been drinking filtered water, which is normally absolutely fine, but obviously there is the risk that the bottle that they fill up could be contaminated. So I think that's definitely what did it. And also we have been using purified ice cubes as well in the last couple of days because it's been very hot and the water just gets really hot really quick, so we've been cooling it down. And I think that's what's done it. And our driver this morning actually told us off and he said, make sure you only use bottled water. So we'll make sure we do that from now on. And we've also just had a couple of massages, which were really nice. I had a full body massage and Hannah had a head massage. And yeah, it's just been really nice relaxing here, recovering. Our room is incredibly comfortable and refreshing to be in. And now we're going to head to dinner.
So we've come down to the main restaurant for a very early dinner. So we didn't have lunch, but we've gone for an avocado toast. Hopefully that it's just like gentle on our stomachs. But it's absolutely beautiful setting here. We've got like a pond that goes all the way around the restaurant, and there's lily ponds and lots of fish in there. It's just very relaxing, very beautiful. We're the only ones actually in the restaurant at the moment, so we've got it all to ourselves. And yeah, I'm actually starting to feel a bit hungry now, which is a good sign. And it's just very relaxing. Good morning, guys. We slept like babies last night. I went to bed at about 7 o'clock and I woke up at 7 o'clock, so I've had about 12 hours sleep, which my body really needed. We've come down for breakfast. And it's a beautiful day today, clear blue skies, and it's already feeling very hot. But we've got some toast and also some granola with coconut yogurt and fruit, and fresh pineapple juice, carrot and ginger shots. And yeah, we're both starting to feel a bit better now, which is good. Last night for dinner, I couldn't really eat much for my dinner, I just had some of the bread. But hopefully my appetite has got a bit better now. And we are surrounded by nature. We've got a lovely little bird behind me on the rock, which we've been watching. He's looking at the fish, so maybe he'll make a catch and have his breakfast too. But this morning we're off to Auroville for like a walking tour and learn all about what Auroville is about, and we'll be sharing that with you too soon. So we've just spent the morning on a guided walking tour around Auroville, and it was really fascinating. We started at the visitor centre, which has a lot of information about kind of the origins and like foundations of what Auroville was meant to be. And so it was all inspired by Mother, who was a lady who originally actually came from France, and she was basically a very revered woman who was very spiritual, and the idea around Auroville was about it being a place of kind of like no rules and community, and yeah, it was just very, very interesting place, and there's a lot of information, so I'm going to try and condense it all down. But yeah, we learned a lot about the history of it and how they have, I think, people from over 72 countries. Currently there's about 4,000 people living there, and the idea is that everybody
who comes to Auroville has basically has to work a certain amount of hours every day. I think that they said 4 or 5 hours every day, and you can then build your own house or buy your own house there, and they also will basically, they have like a lot of communities. They have like a community kitchen. They have lots of like community spaces, and then they have the Matramandi, which is like a very beautiful meditation centre. So we couldn't film or photograph any of that because it's very sacred place, and also it's distracting. So we didn't actually go inside, because if you want to go inside the Matramandi, you have to book tickets, and I think it was like a week in advance. So unfortunately we weren't able to do that, but we did go around the grounds and right underneath the Matramandi, and excuse me, it was very, very like amazing architecture. Everything was done around the symbol of the mother, which was based off of the lotus flower, and like all the symmetry. And then they had like basically the main gold ball is where you can go in and meditate, and then they have I think it's 7 rooms around that are all different colours, and so it's all based on different pillars. So if you're focusing on a specific thing, I think it's like maybe peace was one of them, so you can focus on one of those and you would then go and meditate in one of those rooms. So yeah, it looked like an amazing experience to do that, if that's something you're interested in. And there's lots of like community programs and like workshops you can do. There's like, I think like pottery and printmaking and cooking classes. It's very like creative community. And they also have, we went into one of the musical centres where they have lots and lots of different instruments, and some of them they have invented themselves. And what was really interesting about some of the instruments was that you don't actually have to really learn to play them. You can just start playing them, and it's very, very easy and accessible for anybody to play the instruments. So that was really amazing. And some of the instruments I've never seen before in my life. They were just very, very, very interesting, and made beautiful and unique sounds. And yeah, there was so much more that we could have seen. We only just were there for a morning, and when we left we said, we should have come and stayed for longer, because there was so much to see. You can also stay there in the town. So yeah, we definitely recommend visiting Auroville if you are going to come visit Pondicherry as well. It's not very far away, and also would recommend maybe staying nearby or inside Auroville to really get a chance to learn it in more depth.
We've been talking lots since we've got back from Auroville about how to sum up our experience there. It's a very interesting place, and after probably about an hour or so talking to our guide, who was fantastic, we were both saying, like, is this what a place that's designed and envisioned by a woman looks like, where it's just much more relaxed, kind, generous, less rules and stuff, and you know how a community can come together in a different way. And yeah, it's really difficult to get our heads around, because before we went to Auroville, Hannah found an old documentary from probably the 70s, I think, and it was talking about the people that would come here, like more hippies and stuff like that. And then after Hannah sent me that documentary, I then found other BBC programmes talking about some of the scandals that have surrounded Auroville over the years, where they would have Westerners come in who were then committing sexual crimes and stuff like that. So we went in with kind of a mindset of not sure whether we should even go to Auroville, because was it a controversial place to talk about? But when we got there, we just found really kind people. We found a developing community that's taken a long time to grow and build, and a community that just wants to live in peace and harmony with each other. And the interesting thing that they're finding now is that the government in India wants to kind of take over Auroville. We've just had some food brought over to us as like a starter, because we're actually ordering lunch before we check out, because we have about a 2.5 hour drive ahead of us. But yeah, it's interesting going to Auroville and seeing this, I guess almost like a utopia of where humans should be living in peace and harmony with each other. But how the Indian government now is looking to get more involved, and actually we were saying they were infiltrating Auroville because the way that Auroville works is that they have a community leadership where all decisions are undertaken by the community, and you have a certain length of process in order to be allowed to stay and live in Auroville. But the Indian government now is having people go through that process and then start to take over the community government of Auroville, because Auroville's kind of been a separate community inside of India, and the Indian government now is seeing it as a tourist opportunity. So it's really sad. You could definitely see the sadness when we were talking about the change of Auroville. But yeah, a very fascinating place. I said to Hannah earlier, it's almost like we need to come back and spend a whole year living there to do justice and make a documentary of some sorts of the community and the place, because they're inventing their own water systems. They use a lot of solar panel. They cook by solar heat. They've got their own water filtration systems, which he was saying they use. I can't even remember. We'd have to do some research into it.
And the bricks as well.
They made their own bricks. They use the dirt and they compress it, and it's able to withstand the compression of being built and stuff. There's no heating involved. So there's a lot of fascinating places, and also the musical instruments that we saw, that they were just incredible to play, and all the sound instruments. It's just a very fascinating place and a very peaceful place to go and spend some time in. But all of this adventure and all of this tour and everything was organised by our tour company, India Someday. So if you want to come to Auroville and see all of that and stay in this incredible place that we're staying, definitely check out that down in the description below. But for now, we're going to eat our lunch, hit the road, and then we'll be heading to a new destination, which we'll have to check out in our next episode to see where we're going. And I think, we've just had a very eye-opening time here, something that we didn't expect it to be like this. We weren't sure what to expect, but it's definitely a very fascinating place to see and something that's opened our eyes. So yeah, we've had a really great time, and thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, let us know in the comments which was your favourite part, and we'll see you guys in the next one.